One of the things we've noticed with ISVs in the cloud space, as we've been researching it, trying to figure out what the barriers are for cloud adoption, and there's been this perception that the ISV licensing model is a major hurdle for getting into cloud. And as we started to research it, we found that a lot of the ISVs has actually at least been testing what cloud licensing models ought to look like. It's kind of hardest for the ones who've been exclusively or predominantly licensing their software by the core or even by the processor or by the node. It's hard to go from that model into a cloud model, but by and large the ISVs are trying it. They have at least options for licensing a lot of their HPC codes as a utility or as a service, looking at SaaS models going in. And what we found is that of the ISVs who are trying it, they still don't think cloud or SaaS is going to be a dominant part of their licensing revenue, at least in the near term. And they're not seeing a lot of revenue from it right away. And what it's pointed to is that solving the licensing model isn't the number one thing that's the hurdle for SaaS adoption in HPC. There are some other things to get over the hump on. A big one is not only data security, of course, but also data movement. Where's the data coming from and where does it have to sit? If you've got a large data set, getting that to the hosting site, whether that's a hosted service or a server vendor or the ISV itself, but getting it to the hosted site and then doing something with it is a pretty big barrier in terms of running the actual code. So data movement, data licensing, or rather data movement, data security, looking like they're bigger issues overall than the licensing portion.